Different managers play different music.
Hello. Welcome to Nova Holistic episode 21. My name is Dijana, and I'm going to have a really special guest here with me today. Her name is Hardie, and we're going to talk about, well, let it be a surprise what we're going to talk about. But I wanted to just really quickly introduce Nova Holistic. I started this podcast in order to tell different stories around holistic health and well-being and how we can apply some of those things in our lives and also be in service to others and other people, families, children, communities, overall collective health and well-being. So the people that I speak to all have their unique stories, but we all share this common approach of awareness and application of different modalities, different ways in which we work towards health and well-being. So on that note, let me introduce my wonderful friend, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Diana. How are you? Happy Monday, Sunday, April, May, whatever it is right now for both of us. So, how are you doing?
I know, I'm so good. Bonnie and I, before we went live, actually talked about how we are recording this particular episode, and it is May 1st for me here in Sydney, and it's a Monday, but it is at the 30th of April for you, Bonnie, and it is a Sunday. We're in different weeks, it's different days, different time zones, even different months.
Yeah, it's all over the place. This doesn't happen very often, so it's really cool. And also, as we just spoken about, I'm episode number 21, and my birthday is August 21st. So 21 is my favorite number, so it's a lot of synchronicities and a lot of cool things going on for a podcast before we even get started. So how cool is that?
I know. It's amazing. Yeah. So it's such a blessing to get the opportunity to speak with you. And just for those that don't know, you are in a public place, which is fine, but there's just a little bit of noise in the background. So just to be, aware that there might be some, noises that will come along in our conversation.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit noisy, but it's usually not too bad. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So let's begin the conversation with you talking to us, like introducing yourself a little bit. Tell us who you are. Tell us what's important that's going on in your world. How are you doing? And what are the things that are happening in your world that are important in relation to health and well-being, for example?
Okay, well, to introduce myself, hi everybody. My name is Bonnie Hardie, and I live in Central Florida. I am a mindset, life, and gratitude coach, the owner of Rock Solid Mindset, Life, and Gratitude Coaching. I empower midlife women to say bon voyage to shackles in their mind so that they can live their best life and reclaim their joy and passion. I'm also a vision board expert, and I have a few different programs that I have, and one of them is I combine a vision board and the wheel of life, and I color code the wheel of life, and so that makes it more impactful. If you say, one thing is more important to you than something else, you know what you need to work on. And I also have a 5x5 formula for Rock Solid Day. That's 5 things to do in the morning. Start your day off strong. 5 activities. It includes meditation, journaling, gratitude. And if you do these 5 things in the morning for 1 to 5 minutes each, it's going to start your day off rock solid. A lot of different things are going on in my world right now. I am doing podcasts and summits. I was selected to be a guard. Excuse me, I can't talk right now. I just lost my train of thought. I was selected to help with foster kids who are going to Disney World. They're going to spend the whole day at Disney World, and I get to help escort them and chaperone them and show them all the rides and help them meet the characters and stuff. That's coming up later on in May. That's really cool. I was also selected to be in a local magazine as a woman next door, so that's coming out pretty soon. Did an interview, did a photo shoot recently, so that's the first time doing that. So that's really cool. So I just like to do a lot of. I just like to help empower people to help them get over things that's going on in their past, so they can do what they want in the future. So because I know a lot of women my age, I'm 58, could be kind of downtrodden, or you could be a widow, a divorcee, and you're like, is that all there is left to do in my life? Is there nothing left? It's like there's a lot of things for you to do, no matter how old you are. I mean, my mom, who's a great grandmother now, she's traveling around with her significant other, and have gone to the presidential museums. They've traveled to the different national parks all throughout the United States. I think they've even gone to Canada. So, no matter how old you are, no matter what age you are, there's always something left to do in your life. So I'm all about the mind-body connection, being spiritual and connecting to your higher self, and just doing a lot of meditation and just relaxing, taking deep breaths, not getting too stressed out over things. Just do what you can do to help yourself, and hopefully everything will work out in the end. And I think they just raised the music a little bit louder, so I'll try to talk louder over the music. I apologize for that.
It's okay. I can still hear you. It's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, no
Perfect.
problem. Yeah, you've got a really good microphone which focuses
Yeah.
like your
Yeah.
words into the
Yeah.
conversation. So it's
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Right.
So did you finish everything you were going to say?
Yes, I think I finished it all. I'm not sure. If I think of something later, I'll put my hand up and so let me add this. But I think I finished it all.
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to start with, if you don't mind.
Okay.
My interest really got piqued. By the way, I'm writing some things down as you're talking, just notes so that I can remember.
All right.
My interest really got piqued when you were talking about the wheel and
Right.
the color coordination.
Right.
Are you happy to talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yes.
If not completely what it's like, but tell me what it is. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Okay. Well, the wheel of life, it's a circle with 8 different sections in it, and some people have different sections in theirs, but they talk about like your family, your fun, your relationship, your career, and what you do in a wheel of life. You grade it, and I've done it a little separately. I had a designer design one a little differently than most people, because we do on a 1 to 100 scale, and 10, we break it off into points of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Normally, if you rank something really good, you put a little dot up here, rank something bad, dot down here, and then when you're done, you connect the dots. And it's never a circle. It's always a trapezius or whatever. The way I do it is mine looks more like a pie chart. And if you say something is, because we're 20% and below, we color code that red. 20% and above, I color code that green. 80% and above, I color code that green. 20% to 80%, we color code that yellow. So anything that's 20% or below, we color code it red. And then color code each one, whatever color it is. And then when you're done, you look at it, and you can really see how many reds you have, how many greens, how many yellows. So then when we go do the vision board, you can put more stuff on the vision board from the red or the yellow or the green. It doesn't matter. I did one of these with somebody a while back, and they wanted to have a lot of fun. Their fun was rated 90%, and they wanted to be out during the summertime on the water, kayaking and stuff like that. So I said, okay, for your vision board, why don't you go find pictures of people water skiing or boating or something like that, and put that on your vision board, and we're going to go do that during the summertime, right? And if something's not as good, you say, hey, maybe I need to work on more money, maybe I need to have some more fun or something like that. So that way, when you look at it, it's different colors. You can really tell, oh, there's 8 things here, and 5 of them are red. I need to work on a lot of things. Or a lot of them are green, so it means I'm doing pretty good overall. But you can always work on stuff even more,
It sounds like it would be an amazing tool to have in the home, where you can just at a glance be reminded of
Yeah.
where you're at in that moment, and what to look forward to and what to work towards.
Right. Definitely. It helps you to decide, because when you start really thinking about this, questions I ask for each one, and when you really start thinking about it, you can decide, oh yeah, my stuff this isn't as bad as I thought it was, and then you really are more honest with yourself, and you can, yeah, this is really what I want to look forward to in the future, what I need to work on.
I really like that. I don't sort of do vision boarding with my clients very
Yeah.
much at all, but I do talk a lot about color therapy,
Right.
because I'm a counselor,
Right.
psychologist by profession.
Right.
So I do talk about that, and how
Right.
you can use sort of color and color therapy to
Right.
help you, but not in the way that you describe. So I
Right.
really like your work. That's
Thank you.
really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So tell me, okay. So I believe that things come to us, or
Right.
we do the work because it most resonates with us, right?
Right.
So however it is that I work is also largely because that's how I like it the best, right?
Right.
So that then leads me to ask you, had you done that sort of wheel and vision boarding for yourself?
Yes, I did it I've done it with other people. People have showed me how to do it. And then I kind of took the idea of color coding it myself. I thought that would stand out a little more. So it's kind of like my special sauce, so to speak. I mean, there's other people that color code and stuff. I'm not the only one that does it, obviously. However, I think that when you combine the vision board and the wheel of life, because this vision for your life program is 4 sessions. The first session is getting to know you, your background, what's going on in your background, what your goals are in the future, so I can tailor the program towards you. The second session is actually doing the wheel of life and going through all that. The third session is putting from the wheel of life onto the vision board and actually making a vision board. And then the fourth session, usually those 3 sessions are like 1 week after each other, like 1 week in between. And the fourth session is a follow-up session, usually about 4 weeks later, 4 to 6 weeks later, where I see how you're going with that. Is everything still the same? Is anything that was red, were you able to move it up? And you can do vision boards like once a month, once a year, once every 6 months, whatever you want. But I want as many people as possible to get most of their stuff in the green, maybe a few yellows, but I don't want to see too many reds from anybody, because that means that's not really good, and that's something that we really need to work on in your life somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I want to ask you, because we are having a conversation, and this is not just a sales pitch conversation. This
Right,
conversation is actually more about you,
right,
and like your life, and how did you get to the point
yeah,
where you realized that you could use this particular tool to help yourself first and foremost, and then help others?
Yes,
Like
I
what got you there?
yeah, well, going through all of the different sections of the wheel of life, I say, well, maybe I need to work on some relationships with some people, or maybe over here my fun is good, and um, this is something that I need to keep going with. So I learned to say, I just learned to, okay, this is something that I kind of looked deep inside myself and said, okay, I had to be real honest with yourself about stuff and say, okay, this is something that I really need to work on, and let's see why I put this as a red, and let's work on this. So next time I do this, it's going to be a yellow or even a green, and it causes you to like do deep reflection and really think about things. So once that was taught to me and I went through and I was comfortable with it, then I said, okay, then I can help others with this. I can use my own experiences to help other people that are in that
Mm,
same boat as I have been in. And if one thing was bad for me and I made it go from red to green, I could say this is what I did personally to help do this, move this up, and see if I can help somebody else move it up. And it's been pretty effective
mm.
generally.
Mhm. And, so, how long have you been working in this way, or how long have you been using this? Like, I mean, I'm presuming completely, but are you still using those strategies to help your own life?
Yes, I've
Yeah,
been using these strategies like on a daily basis to help my
yeah.
own life. Meditate and show gratitude and journal and just think about things on a regular daily basis. What do I want my future to look like, and how can I use my experiences to help other people that when things aren't going too well for them.
Mhm, mhm. And, so how long have you been like using this? Like, are we talking about 1 year, or is this new, or is it like, have you been using this for years? I'm just
Um,
curious.
it's fairly new, probably less than about 2 years. I've been more
Mm,
deeply into doing this and stuff like that. So I
mm,
was doing it a little bit with other people, and they showed it to me. And then I guess that I really need to get serious about this. And I've seen how doing vision boards have helped other people. So I'm like, well, they can really help me. So let's do this for myself.
yeah, sounds great. All right, so now tell me about, you mentioned a couple of times now, working with the heart-centered attribute of gratitude.
Right.
Let's talk about gratitude. Tell me about why you are working with gratitude, first of all. Why is gratitude important to you?
Honestly, sometimes it's because I really kind of got tired of people complaining about stuff all the time. No matter what was going
Mm,
on, people were complaining. If it was the sun was out, it's too hot. If it rained, oh, it's now I can't go do anything. So sometimes people complain about every little thing. I understand sometimes you gotta vent, stuff's not always going great. You gotta let it out and complain. However, you always have to think that no matter how bad it's going for you, there's always going to be somebody that has it worse. And this isn't like a
mm,
competition to see who's got stuff the worst. Everybody's got, I have bad knees, or I have an artificial knee. Well, I have had my leg amputated. Well, it's not a competition to see who's got it the worst, but you also have to appreciate stuff. Personally, me, I do have really bad knees, and I was told I probably need to have them both replaced by the time I'm 60, which is next year. But at least I do have all my body parts. And if I go to the airport, go through some place with metal detectors, I don't have to say, hey, look, I've got metal in my legs because they're artificial knees or anything like that.
yeah.
I have to deal with a prosthetic or anything like that. So you have to be grateful that, and the pain that in my knees at least shows me that, they are there and working and stuff. And I've got all my nerves and stuff going on. So you just have to appreciate stuff. Appreciate what you do have and don't dwell on what you don't have. And look at somebody else and appreciate that at least you have a bed to sleep in, or food, food to eat, and a table to sit down on to eat your food, and TV to watch, and all that kind of stuff. Not everybody has that.
Yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right, and I love what you say about your observation around how, people just randomly get caught in, almost like a verbal diarrhea, like this
Yes.
this
Yes.
blur
Yeah.
of you know whining and whinging and that
Yeah.
that is not able to be processed inside the body, so it needs to be kind of
Yeah.
almost spewed out
Yeah.
continually into the world, right?
Right. Definitely.
Mm,
Definitely.
yeah. So, what is your gratitude practice?
Well, when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy that I did wake up. No matter where I did wake up, I did wake up and I got to see sunshine and hear birds singing. And usually I wake up when it's still dark out, so I get to see the moon and the stars. And I always try to see how many planets I can see and stuff. So I'm grateful that I woke up, that it's a new day, that nothing bad has happened to me or any of my friends. I check on friends early in the morning to make sure everything's okay with everybody. And, I try to write down every day at least 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for. And something different every day that, had a really good night's sleep last night or had a nice talk with a friend or something like that. And, I challenge people to do this. It's like it's got to be something different. You can't keep saying the same thing every day. So once you start showing gratitude for little things, maybe somebody gave you $1 or maybe somebody, bought you something to eat or drink. It's like that's something nice to, be grateful for. So the more things you find to be grateful for, the more things you're going to find to be grateful for on a regular basis. Just keep looking for the good in everything. Today, tomorrow, whenever it is in the world that you're watching this, we start a new month. It's going to be May. And it's like, it's change of season and stuff like that. We're in springtime most places. So look at the flowers growing and the birds chirping and the squirrels running around and stuff. It's a smile to seeing that.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a gratitude practice as well. I
Right,
also journal to help me process, just sometimes it's just the energy of the day, right?
right,
And um, I'm I find that I have cognitive, as in brain peace,
right,
when I can by default, right? So
right,
it's like a default behavior for me
right,
that I can just, I'm continually in the energy of gratitude because I'm just so damn grateful for
right,
every, like you were saying, exactly like you were saying,
right,
and for all the little things,
right,
right, as I go through the day. So I don't, for me personally, I've developed my this particular gratitude behavior
right,
that that happens in real time all day every day, right?
right,
So I
right.
don't just sit down at the end of the day and write a gratitude. Like I do it all day
As you're
every
going
day,
along, right.
right?
Yes,
And because what I find is that it helps me stay in the present moment. Because if I'm noticing things around me that I'm grateful for, then I'm busy and creating my reality in the present moment rather than only thinking about the future or being stuck in the past.
right,
You know what I mean? So that's kind of, I'm just sharing my gratitude practice with you.
right.
But I love that you work with gratitude. I think that's really good. So when you work with people to have their own gratitude practice, what is that like for you? Like, what's that process like for you? Like, how do you?
Well, I explain little things to look for, and like you
Mm-hmm,
said, you kind of look for things all day long. Write stuff down as you go along, and that it can't be the same thing every day, and change it up.
mm-hmm,
And one person was grateful that as they were driving to work, they got all the green lights. It's like, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. Another person was grateful that they went grocery shopping and they found a spot close to the front. The stuff that they needed was readily available, and then there was no wait line at the cashier, so literally in and out in like 6 minutes. So normally that would take them like 20. So like, wow, that's
Mm,
really cool. It's like, yeah, you saved a
yeah.
lot of time doing that, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of little things like that. Maybe somebody gave you a compliment on something, and I also challenge people to give out 5 to 10 compliments a day. Oh, I love your earrings.
Ah.
Oh, my that boots. Oh my gosh, your dog is gorgeous. Don't you like it when people say that to you? So why don't you start saying that to other people? And I guarantee people are gonna start saying that back to you. Doesn't that make you feel good when somebody says, I love the way your fingernails look. They're real fancy. Those earrings are awesome. So if you start saying that to other
Mm,
people, and beginning of the month now, so start doing it now, and it'll become a habit so easy. You won't even realize how grateful you are and how many compliments you're giving out. It's gonna be like, wow, that's really cool. And you're gonna start receiving them yourself, and it's gonna that's neat,
mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I really like that. Isn't it quite magical when you're
Yeah,
walking down the street and someone just smiles at you
yeah,
randomly,
right. It's like,
right?
yeah, they
Yeah.
smile, they say hi. And I see people, so many people, they're on their phone constantly. I can't tell how many people I've seen walk in the doors because they're on their phone. It's like, put the phone down for 3 minutes, for goodness sakes. Some doors open automatically, and then sometimes some don't, and then you're not paying attention. It's like, you're going to spill coffee all over yourself, all over your phone. You can put the phone down for 2 minutes as you're waiting in line and stuff. I've seen people take the phone in the bathroom. It's like, my gosh, can you please just have a little bit of modicum of privacy over there, please? It's insane. It's insane.
Ah, that's funny.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit. All right, so let's now talk about maybe something you've noticed in your world or something that you think might be important to bring up and kind of voice at this time. Something that's going on either in your world or in the world around you. Because I don't know what it's like where you live, right? I don't know what that world is like. So, do you have anything to share in this conversation that we could maybe unpack a little bit?
Um, things are pretty decent overall in the United States. Luckily, COVID has basically gone, so that's good. Our president is doing a good job, in my opinion. The governor of Florida is doing a good job, in my opinion. I don't get a lot
Mm-hmm.
into politics with people, but I think who we have now is doing a good job. There doesn't seem to be like a lot of craziness going on. I am very close to Walt Disney World, so I do get to meet a lot of tourists coming over here. So it is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And I visited England several years ago, and I do plan to visit internationally. And I do have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of international friends, so I know what's going on in other parts of the world. And, it's springtime here in the U.S., so it's getting a little bit cooler. It's going to start getting hotter pretty soon, though. And
Mm-hmm.
we seem to be doing pretty good with no hurricanes coming through. We almost had a tornado come through last night, but it got really bad for a while. There's a tornado watch where I lived last night, so that was kind of crazy. It was this morning when I woke up and it was pouring down right now like 5:30 this morning, but that straightened out pretty quickly. But just it seems like it's pretty good overall in the USA, and people are getting along fairly decently. And we got good
Mm-hmm.
education over here, and healthcare. That's very expensive to do anything like that unless you have insurance, and insurance can be crazy. But we're getting now that kind of stuff figured out. But I haven't seen like a lot of craziness. But sometimes I'm in my own little bubble, so I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me. It's like I got enough of my own stuff going on, so I'm not always worried
Mm,
about other people what they're doing. But it seems like
yeah.
overall, the kids in the schools are doing pretty decent. We have had a lot of shootings in schools though, so they're really working on that with gun control and stuff like that. So that's really the only bad thing that I've noticed lately is school shootings, and they are working on getting a handle on that with more stricter stuff with that, with having um, police officers at schools and stuff, metal detectors. It's kind of crazy if your kid's going to sixth grade elementary school and they have to have a metal detector in their school. But that's kind of the way the world is now. But things seem to be doing pretty well, okay, in my opinion, in the United States here.
Okay. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, my brain is still trying to process this thing about primary school or elementary school kids
Yeah.
having, metal detectors and police at school. I can't imagine. We don't have that here at all. Yeah, at all. I
Yeah.
really can't imagine that. Yeah. But it's good to know that you observe in your world that
Right.
the world has settled down,
Right.
um, and that it's, pretty safe. And the other thing is, did you say the tornado? You almost had a tornado?
Yeah, there was a tornado warning out last night for the county I live in, several other counties, and it was the weather like the last week or so has been real crazy, and it's just and I first woke up this morning and I was getting a little wet, and then I moved to another spot and it started pouring, and this is like 5:30 this morning, and it was really
Mhm.
bad for a while, but then by like 11 o'clock it straightened itself up. I tell people, if you don't like the weather in Florida, either walk across the street or wait 30 minutes because it's crazy. You can never tell what's going on in Florida. So it could look like it's going to pour, and then it's okay. So, but
Yeah,
it
right.
was a little crazy for a while there. My situation right now is a little scary, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I got a little wet, but then I got dried off, so it was all good.
Right, right, right. Okay. And do you, I mean, again, like a tornado, I can't even imagine. We never have those here in the cities, especially, like ever. I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what that must be like. Have you ever seen one or found yourself like in danger of one or anything like, I mean, I don't even know what words to use to ask you this question because I don't know how it happens. Is it like does it just show up or you
It
get a
just it
warning
just
and you know that
kind
you're
of
yeah,
it just kind of shows up real quick. The weather hits real quick. In
right,
Florida, though, we during summertime we do get hurricanes and tropical storms. And last
right,
year we went through two of those. We had Hurricane Ian come through, and then like 6 weeks later, Tropical Storm Nicole came through. And really, the only difference is how much the wind is.
okay,
Obviously, a hurricane has a lot more wind and stuff, but and they give you like a warning that something's out there and it's coming, but then they have the cone of uncertainty. And Florida is like 100 miles wide and 400 miles long, so no matter
yeah,
where it hits, and I'm in Orlando, I'm dead center in the middle of the state, so if it's going
right,
to hit, we're going to get something. And when the hurricane came through, it kind of hit on one side of the state and swashed all the way through the state. So I'm right, and there's no place for us to go because you're going north, and everybody else is going north. And then if the hurricane's going north, you got to go west,
mm-hmm,
and then they're right on the ocean, so you can't really go over that way. So unless you got a boat, you got to fly out of here to England or something like that. So,
mm,
but they're making the houses, a lot stronger now, and people know how to put on the stuff to cover their windows, so it's not as bad. And you get generators in case you run out of electricity, and the state gets we're used to doing this, unfortunately, so the state is pretty prepared that they've even got like other states ready their electricians and stuff to come in to help us, and then something happens up like in Georgia, we do the same thing for them. So usually it's not too bad, but some places was got totally flooded out. People lost their homes completely, and then some places
yeah,
barely anything happened. So you got to have
mm.
hurricane insurance, and we hope nothing happens, but you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about the hurricanes and stuff. I just didn't know that you had tornado warnings as well. That's,
It doesn't happen
yeah.
very often, and I was like, "Oh, great! It has to
Right.
happen right now." But it happened, and it was a little scary, but we were okay, fortunately.
Yeah. And you have somewhere like safe to go when you receive these warnings? You like there's places around Orlando that you can sort of go to shelter yourself when it's
Sort of.
dangerous?
Kind of depending on when it happens and how much notice they have. And I'm not
Right.
technically in Orlando. I'm in
All right.
Kissimmee, then Celebration. So I can like there's buildings I can go into if it's gonna be bad. But with my
Mm-hmm.
certain situation, I'm kind of outside a lot more than most people. But I ended up, I got a little wet and I got a little crazy. But then I ended up being okay. So I lost a little bit of sleep last night. So I'll probably sleep pretty good tonight. So that's good. I
Yeah,
see
that's cool.
that's reframing a negative into a positive. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but hopefully I'll sleep good tonight. Because tomorrow's
Yeah.
Monday, so I got to be sharp and ready to go and be on my game for start the new month and the new week and everything.
That sounds great. Yeah, amazing. So, um, now, if people wanted to connect with you in order to talk to you some more about, excuse me, these modalities and these approaches that you have to work with you, how can they do that?
They can contact me through Facebook at Bonnie S. Hardie. It's BonnieShardie. Or you can email me at bonniehardy@yahoo.com. I just recently have a website going. Excuse me, there's a bug flying in front of me. I recently have a website going at bonniehardy.com or yeah, www.bonniehardy.com. I'm getting ready to put, a lot more things on there. So contact me through Facebook, through email, through, carrier pigeon, through whatever you want, however you want to, however you want to talk to me and stuff, call me,
Yeah.
whatever. I've had people call me,
Hmm.
they're literally like 6 feet away and they call and talk to me. So that's fine there. Either way you want to do that, it's all good.
Yeah, and we're of course sharing all of that in the introduction slash comment,
Right.
excuse me, section of this podcast, so people will be able to connect with you directly from that. Um, and can you believe that we're almost at 40 minutes for this podcast? So we're going to start closing it
Wow.
down.
Cool.
I know, amazing. Um, So, in closing, Bonnie, is there anything that you want to share with us? Either a bit of wisdom, some advice, or just something, anything that you think might help someone that's going through a hard time at the moment?
Well, you want to make your dreams happen. You want to reframe your negatives into positives. You want to appreciate what you do have and not dwell on what you don't have. And I've also written like a meme for the word mindset using the first letter of the word. And it's hang on one second. There's a fancy car going by. I have to show how crazy they are. Okay. So mindset is knowledge during setbacks. Everything is terrific. So again, mindset is knowledge during setbacks. Everything is terrific. You write the word mindset going down this way and spell it out the other way. Mindset is knowledge during
Mhm.
setbacks. Everything is terrific. And no matter how
Amazing.
bad things get, they're gonna get better. And having bad things happen to you makes you appreciate the good things even more. And you can tell yourself,
Mm,
"I got through this and this, and I can get through this." And if I saw this other person going through this stuff and they made it out stronger, I can make it out stronger. So anybody's going through a difficult time for anything, whatever, contact me, let me know, and we can talk through, and I can help you out as much as I can.
mm. Amazing, thank you. And I love that the mindset that you they're going down that way and
Right.
stuff. Maybe when we once the episode is shared and I tag you,
Right.
maybe in the comments you can
Okay.
you can write it out so that people
Yes.
can remember. Yeah.
Yes,
It's gonna
definitely.
it's gonna make someone's fridge, I'm sure.
Yeah, people will be like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that." So I figured that one out on my own. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Bonnie, is there anything else you want to tell us before we finish up?
No, Joanna, I can't think of anything right now. I just want everybody to have a great month, have a great week, have a great whatever. Wake up being grateful, and and just smile and sing and dance and do whatever it is you want to do, and don't let what other people have told you stop you from doing what don't stop you from fulfilling your dreams. You do what you want to, and you do what makes you happy and smile. What lights you up? Do what lights you up and makes you smile. If it makes you happy, that's the most important thing.
And what I want to say is deepest gratitude to you, Bonnie, for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And also, as a member of this global community, thank you so much for being a positive contributor in this world, because it makes a difference. That light of gratitude, that light of heart-centered wisdom and sharing and being in service, regardless of how tough life can sometimes get, is so appreciated. It's so appreciated. So thank you, my darling. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I had a great time, and let's do this
I
again
know.
later on.
All right. So just stay there for a second. I'm
Okay.
just going to close the podcast and then we'll just catch up, just you and me.
Okay.
Okay. So just bear with me.
All right.
So, my loves, I hope you enjoyed that particular conversation. I hope you took a lot away from this, because there's a lot to be said about gratitude, about vision boards, about colors, about all that amazing work that Bonnie is offering to like in service to collective consciousness. So on that note, if you have anything to share or anything to contribute, please write a comment below, share the podcast far and wide so people can hear these amazing conversations. And I will be seeing you, I was going to say hearing you, but seeing you next time. Mwah. Much love.